This is Redeemed, bringing you another Infinite Magicraid video. We're on our free-to-play account today, but this is not exactly about the free-to-play account. It's more about the heroes that we pulled during an event. So we were fortunate enough when we started this account that there was a double pull event going on for Legend heroes, as well as a couple of other events involving shards. When we pulled the last time, we didn't have quite enough excellent wishes to get the pity system to get a Legend hero. We went out and we cleared a little bit more content, and we got enough shards that now we can guarantee that we're going to get a Legend hero. And because there is a double attempt on, when we get one, that means we're going to get two. So you can see we got, for our first hero, a Valentine. Now, Valentine is kind of an interesting hero. His kit is a little bit unusual. So let's take just a quick minute to go through the kit, and then I'm going to show you it in practice, which I think explains it a little bit better. The first thing about Valentine is he's a little bit unusual in that he's actually got two kits as part of his main kit. In other words, he's got forms. He's got a regular form and something he calls a power surge form. And you can see if you switch, that causes differences in his A1 and his A2. So for his default active skill, it's fairly straightforward. Deal 200% damage to a single enemy, 60% chance to reduce defense by 30% on 2 turns. Very nice. His secondary form is a little AE. It can be misinterpreted a little bit, so I'll try to clarify here. It says bounces 2 times among all enemies after attacking a single enemy, dealing 200% attack per time. If there's only one target, it deals 400% attack damage. On first read, it almost sounds like it's saying attack a target and it's going to hit everything for 200% attack damage twice. That's not at all how it works. What it does is you pick a target, it hits for 200%, and then it's going to bounce among all of the enemies twice. So you're going to hit 2 more enemies for 200% damage. So it's going to hit 3 enemies in your attack, which is still pretty nice, but it's not the awe-inspiring awesome of an AE on a 4-turn cooldown that does 200% to everybody. And then his ultimate is this power surge. So this is some self-preservation capability. Resets or cleanses all of the dots that are on Valentine and resets the cooldown of that big A2 lightning chain, as well as restores 20% of Valentine's max hit points. While it does that, it switches over to the power surge form for 3 turns and grants another action turn. When you start, when Valentine first enters wave 1, it's on a 3-turn cooldown, so it's not available until 3 turns pass. Now, when we switch into the power surge mode, we see his A1 and his A2 get a little bit better. So his A1 is still the same 200% attack damage to an enemy, but it also hits 2 random enemies for 200% attack damage, including the chance to reduce defense by 30% for 2 turns. The lightning chain becomes Shin Lightning Chain. Instead of bouncing 2 times among all enemies after attacking a single, it bounces 4 times among all enemies. And it does 600% attack damage if there's only 1 target. So this is both good for clearing waves, and when you get down to just the final boss, you can really hit that boss for some good damage. Now, the passive skill is a little bit kind of hard to figure. It's maybe a little bit easier to show it in practice. But basically, he's using certain skills is causing cooldowns to shorten on the other skills as he switches back and forth between his forms. And if he's in power surge mode, he gives himself a shield of 20% of max hit point if he's not already shielded at the beginning of each turn for 2 turns. So again, it goes back into that self-preservation theme for Valentine. So I'm just going to start him off. We'll take a quick look at his recommended kit. It's a fairly standard attacker kit. Put some ATK on him, but really work to drive that crit rate and crit damage up. For the moment, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on his gear. I'm just going to take him into the field and show you how he works in practice. So let's just go to Sword Harbor. Let's start at something like 1-9, which should be plenty easy for him, but allow him to use his skills. I'd be curious to see how far he can go with no gear and only 14 levels on him, but let's see. So I should have auto turned off here. Wait for this to load. Alright, so I'm just going to manual Valentine a little bit here. I'm not going to try to optimize. I just want to show you how these skills work. So remember his A1 in his default form is 200% attack damage to a single enemy with a chance to reduce the defense buff. We'll take out this green here. You can see it's just overkill. Now, we have a little bit of damage being done by this poison, so let's go ahead and see if this lightning chain will bounce the 2 times and kill all 3 enemies. So 200% attack damage per time. This should clear this wave, and indeed it does so easily. Alright, now let's see. Alright, so now we've got a couple of dots. So we've got a bleed and a poison on us. We're doing some damage to our hit points, so let's take a look at our ultimate. Remember, this cleanses all self-dot debuffs and resets the cooldown of Lightning Chain while restoring 20% of our max hit points, and switches us to the power form and gives us another action. So that's going to trigger the passive by allowing us to pop a shield of 20% of our max hit points if we are not already shielded. So we're going to go ahead and trigger that. It should clear these debuffs. It should heal us for 20%. It should give us a shield, and it should give us another turn. And it does exactly that. We are close to full health. We have a shield, and now we are in power form. So we have Shin Lightning Chain, bounces among all enemies 4 times, and deals 200% attack damage each time. So this should pretty much wipe out the wave. And it does. We're just going to get to the end. We're going to have to use our A1 here because we're going to be on cooldown. But the A1 is more than mighty enough to knock everything out of control. So we'll take out this holder, and then boom, and boom. So you can see with no gear and only level 16, which has just been leveling up from testing this, he pulls 3 stars. He clears this wave with ease. I like Valentin. I like him quite a bit. Let's take a look at the rest of his sort of kit, what his exclusive does, and how I recommend that you build him out, especially for a relatively early game player. Alright, so his exclusive, let's take a look. So exclusives can be a little bit challenging to get for free-to-play players. If you're willing to spend a little coin, you can get the pieces you need to avoid having to use the duplicates, otherwise you're relying on the RNG. But let's see what it does. So his Lightning Spectre at level 1 cleanses all his debuffs when he enters Power Surge form. He is immune to control effects while in this form. So we already have the debuff removal piece on his ultimate, but this makes him immune to control effects. So he can't be stunned, can't be hypnotized, that sort of thing. Very nice self-preservation debuff. At level 2, Lightning Chain and Shin Lightning Chain bounce an extra time, so that's good, an extra 200% damage. Also reduces turn meter by 10%, so it slows the enemy down, and deals 30% more damage and reduces target's turn meter by 30% if attacking a single target. So really powerful against boss mobs once you've cleared off their guards. At level 3, reduces the cooldown of Power Surge by 3 turns when Valentine is not in Power Surge. So this is nice. Power Surge, if you remember, starts out at a 3-turn cooldown and then goes to a 9-turn cooldown. So makes it more usable in some of those long boss fights. So a good, if not amazing, exclusive weapon, but it's definitely worthwhile. If we're going to emblem Valentine up, we're going to take a fairly standard kit. He's not a big dot person, so we're going to be looking at the crit enhancement tree. He doesn't need a lot to hit, so we're just going to be looking to try to maximize the damage that he does. Fairly straightforward. There's lots of guides out there on what emblem trees should look like for attack. For equipment in the early game, we want to look at, let's see if we get the equipment to pull up here. We want that attack gear. We want that crit rate gear. Crit damage I think is usually secondary to crit rate, and crit rate is the first thing I would work on with Valentine. I'd work to make sure he's got some survivability, but if you have a good healer on your squad, then that will take care of that. If we can get his crit rate, which starts at 5%, if we can get it up closer to 100%, then we can start working on attack and damage. So we just want to be looking for that in the gear that we choose. So that'll be how I gear him out. He will become definitely a member of my normal squad, given we're in the early game. I don't think Valentine will be one of your mainstay heroes in the later game. I think there's probably better choices out there, but he is a very respectable legendary that is worth investing in the early game as your sort of main damage dealer, and his AE skills are quite respectable as well. And he also, in the early game, often you don't have a lot of fantastic choices for healing. His ability to kind of keep himself alive, especially if he's in your carry position and already leveled ahead of someone, will help you clear things that you otherwise might not be able to. So, hope you found this interesting. If so, pop a like so that other people can find this content. And if you want to see more of my videos, then please click the subscribe button. It really helps out. It allows YouTube to know that you are interested in the type of things that I do. So click that. It's free, no obligation, no nothing of that kind. That said, I look forward to seeing you again in future videos, and have a great day.